Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this video because we're going to be playing with the brand new Adept Cosmetics Samarian Sunset Palette. It is truly such a stunning, gorgeous palette, y'all. Look at this color story. I am so ready for fall when I look at these tones, and there's so many shifts, so much sparkle happening. Adept shimmers are like no other. I truly recommend them if you love special shadows. So in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the details real quick, just get it out of the way because it's launching today and I want you guys to know what is up. We're also gonna do some live swatches so you can see every single shade just as it is. No editing, no primer, swatched in real time, and then we're gonna do a look and I will give you guys my first impression thoughts at the end. So like I said, going over the details real quick, I'm gonna throw some videos on screen so you can see all the shifts that are happening in this palette, but it is going to retail for $79, which is definitely a little bit more on the expensive side, but you can save 10% off with my affiliate code, which is just AMYLOVES. If you're not familiar with affiliate codes, it means that you save a little bit of money and I also make a commission. I always appreciate y'all's support when you use my codes. This palette is not limited edition, so if you're not sure whether you want to purchase it or not, or right now is not the moment, you don't need to worry about it. It will be available in the future. It does launch at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, so I'll make sure to have that link down below for y'all. Let's jump on in. I'm pretty sure that this palette is Star Trek themed, which I have never personally watched, so I'm probably gonna butcher some of these names. I apologize in advance. But the very first shade is Moche, which is this really pretty like white gold sparkly shadow. It is slightly on the flaky side, but it also looks like it has a little tiny bit of a green shift going on. And then we have the shade Far Point, which looks like such a beautiful, like soft yellowy gold with orange and pink shifts. This one is super creamy, super metallic. I feel like that's going to be so stunning on the inner corner. We have Risa, which is a iridescent multi-chrome. This one is like on the green, pink, gold side. It's just stunning. Again, super metallic, super creamy. Oh my goodness. So stunning. I hope you guys can see that because the shifts are strong. Next we have the shade Lal. This is more of an orangey gold with a green flip happening. And then we have Poklid, which is a really pretty orange, gold, green, yellow multi-chrome, and that one is definitely more on like the soft metallic side, not as sparkly, not as intense when it comes to the texture, but it is very shifty. We have Obsidian Order, which this one is a multi-chrome, but it looks super intense. Looks like it has a black base and then it has shifts of burgundy and gold. Ooh, so pretty. That's like fall in a shadow. Next we have the shade Praxis, which looks like a really intense multi-chrome with a pink base and a green shift. Again, kind of on the burgundy side. This one is a little bit brighter than the previous one. And then we've got Trill, which is this green, pink, gold iridescent multi-chrome. Again, so shifty, so pretty. We have Oos Defiant, maybe, which is another like deep orangey gold multi-chrome, super creamy. I would say that this one is mostly orange, gold, and green. I feel like they took multi-chromes and just did every version of a fall color that you could want. Look how stunning. Okay, that one's a little bit more on like the cream shadow side. It feels very creamy. Just going a little extra swatch there, but look at that orange shift. The last shimmer we have in the palette here is called Tall Shiar, which is another lighter multi-chrome. It definitely has a very thick texture, but I would say it's like a white shade with light shifts of green, pink. There's also a little bit of gold, just depending on what light you look at it in. So now getting into the mattes, we have the shade Darmok, which is a like kind of camely, grungy, browny green shade, which I love that tone for fall. We have Jalad, which is kind of like a yellowy beige. Again, super creamy to the touch. Ooh, that's so pretty. Oh, you can see the yellow though. Lastly, we have Tanagra, which is kind of like a murky olive green matte. We have Positronic Net, which is kind of like a very soft peachy beige. And then we have Delta Quadrant, which is a rusty orange shade. So pretty. I mean, honestly, the shimmers are the star of the show. Like, let's be real, this is Adept. Their shimmers are what we're all here for. But I do really like the mattes that were chosen. I feel like they do give fall vibes. It's not a matte for deepening in this palette, but I do have like a million palettes that I could reach into to add to it. But just pointing it out in case you don't, but these shimmers are truly stunning. The shifts are gorgeous. They are definitely delivering. You guys, I love that the mirror says the best of both worlds right here. I know it's supposed to be for Star Trek, I'm pretty sure, but it's giving Hannah Montana for me. I'm gonna start off by priming my eyelids with the P. Louise base in the shade 0.5. Just throwing that on real quick because I always prime my eyelids. I think I'm gonna start off with the shade Jalad, that like yellowy matte, and I'm just gonna throw that through my crease. I was kind of curious just to see how yellow it'll show up, and it definitely does look yellow on me. I'm definitely being a little bit messy with this shade, just kind of popping it on and throwing it around. I feel like this sounds ridiculous because there's so many shades in here that I would want to go into for my inner corner, but I also think for a matte inner corner that shade would be so pretty. I'm gonna go into the shade Darmok, and I'm just gonna pop that on my outer V to start off with, and then start blending it into the crease. I definitely feel like Adept's mattes keep improving. They're super blendable. I'm just bringing that all the way through the crease, and then I'll go back in with the brush that I used for the yellow, lightly go over everything. I'm also gonna grab a little bit of Tanagra, that olivey green, and I'm gonna pop that kind of along my lash line, but then also into the outer V a little bit. Just adding a little bit more depth to this look. I like how that looks. I know it's not super blended, but I do really like the shade. Again, going into a little bit of Darmok and just kind of blending over that edge. Also, while I'm here, I'm just gonna take whatever green is left over on my pencil brush and slightly connect to the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna start off with Far Point on my inner corner because this one just called to me when I swatched it. I'm picking that up on a BK Beauty 209, which is like a pretty dense, tiny little detail brush. And like I said, just popping that on my inner corner. Look how pretty that is. Like, it looks cute with the greens, and it would look cute with the orange shades. This brush is applying it pretty well. I will say with Adept shimmers, I personally prefer using my fingers. Or if you don't prefer that, then I would definitely recommend using more of a dense brush and kind of playing around. They are very creamy, sparkly shadows, so not every single lid brush is gonna work perfectly with the formula. I think I'm gonna take the shade Praxis next, and I'm gonna use that along my lower lash line. I'm going in with a flat eyeliner brush from Sigma, and just gonna pop that right here. Obviously, it's not gonna look as beautiful as if you put it all over the lid, but I can see the burgundy popping through. Everything is so pretty, but I think I'm gonna use Trill as my lid shade because it is stunning. What I'm gonna do, because I have nails on, is I'm gonna pick some up with a brush. This is the Singe Beauty E01. and I'm gonna start popping that on my lid, which you can see like it's showing up. So I'm gonna kind of place the shape of the shadow and how I want it, and then I'll go in with my finger and just tap over the top to make it extra intense. But I mean, this brush is definitely not doing a bad job by any means. But like I said, going with my finger carefully, and we're just gonna pop that on top. Just for a little extra something something. Look how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. Can you even handle it? I'm gonna grab the Natasha Denona eye crayon in the shade brown just to add a little bit of depth to my waterline and my tight line. I'm just gonna go into the Maybelline Falsies Surreal Mascara. I feel like I need a blush with a little bit of spice to it, so I'm gonna go into the Monica Blender Cheek Tint Liquid Flush Blush in the shade Munchin, which for me is like a spicy nude. I feel like it looks very neutrally pink when I first put it on. It blends out, it does look more orangey. So pretty. For highlighter, I'm gonna go into the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter in the shade Fair Light. It's my favorite, just throwing that on the tops of the cheekbones. Okay, last but not least, I'm gonna go into the Blend Bunny Tinted Lip Oil in the shade Love Bite. I already told you guys, I talked about this in my August favorites, and I was like, this is giving all the fall vibes. So of course, I have to use it for the first fall look that I do. All right, y'all, so here is the finished look with the Samarian Sunset palette from Adept, and I love how it turned out. I feel like this palette is so beautiful. If you've been wanting to try Adept and these are your tones, I feel like there's so much bang for your buck. I know it's an expensive palette, but there are so many multi-chromes in here. All of the shimmers are just so intense, so stunning, so sparkly. If you are someone who really enjoys special shadows, then I think that you would really enjoy this. If you only wear satins, then I would not recommend this palette or Adept Cosmetics in general. But for those of us who love the shifts, love the sparkle, so good. I did feel like the mattes blended pretty well for me. I had no issues with them, and overall the quality seems to be pretty on par with all of the recent Adept palettes. And I did just want to say that I feel like this palette and the Heather Austin palette are going to be stunning together. I feel like these complement each other so much between all of the mattes and the shimmers. I think that these two would be the most amazing companion palettes together. I kind of feel like I could do every fall look I've ever wanted between these two. They just look so stunning together. But that is everything for this video. I really hope it was helpful. And if you are new here and you want to see more indie makeup content, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you for future videos, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.